There's probably no ecosystem more famous in the world than the Amazon. With its wide range of plants and animals, its biodiversity captures the imagination of children and adults alike. Its capacity to sequester carbon is so significant to the whole planet that it's often called the lungs of the world. A lesser-known but equally important phenomenon in the Amazon is something called the last flying river. The last flying river is like a river in the sky that funnels atmospheric moisture into the forest and to other parts of South America. Without it, the Amazon isn't possible and would die off, leaving an even warmer continent and world behind. Besides its ecological significance, it's also an incredibly significant cultural space for people who have called it home since time immemorial. The indigenous peoples of the Amazon, including the people of the Yaigogea Papores, have fought against encroachment, fracturing, and outright intrusion on their territories. By protecting them, they're doing a service for the entire planet by keeping the Amazon thriving and the last flying river flowing. Their processes and governance are sophisticated, some of the best in the world. At a time when our Western leaders gather year after year and don't seem to make much progress, we should be looking to indigenous leaders in the Amazon rainforest for inspiration. Instead, a pattern is emerging. No matter how much protection is placed locally to preserve the Amazon, outside actors are seeking to undermine these policies and use the Amazon for exploitative industries. By parceling off sections of the Amazon for exploitation, it erodes the ability of this river to flow, endangering the indigenous communities who call it home, neighboring countries and ecosystems who rely on this moisture for their own health, and for the entirety of the planet who needs the Amazon to continue to sequester carbon and slow the process of climate change. In a word, it's devastating. So what does this all have to do with Canada? One of the major activities threatening the Amazon is mining, and few people realize that Canada is home to 75% of the world's mining corporations. To ensure that Canadian companies don't violate human rights, break local laws, or damage the forest, Canadians have to do better. New rules have emerged at the international level that say it's our responsibility to govern how Canadian businesses conduct themselves internationally. But Canada and Canadians need to turn those rules into laws here at home. By not keeping a closer eye on Canadian companies, we're allowing bad actors to threaten the Amazon, and because of its significance to the world, this threatens us all. So, to recap, here's what we know. We know the significance of the Amazon and its last flying river, locally, regionally, and to the whole world. We know the severity of climate change and the significance of the Amazon ecosystem to mitigating some of its greatest impacts. We know the indigenous peoples of the Amazon have a right to their sovereignty, lands, and to continue the stewardship of the forest. We know that Canadian companies need to follow rules that are meant to protect human rights and keep the Amazon intact. And we know that some companies are trying everything they can to usurp these rules, which puts us all in danger. Thanks to some recent polling, we also know that this story doesn't sit too well with Canadians. What we don't know is what Canada plans to do about it. And that depends on you. Find out more handsoftheamazon.ca.